Proofs and evidences of the existence of God. One of the proofs and demonstrations of the existence of God is the fact that man did not create himself. Nay, his creator and designer is another than himself. It is certain and indisputable that the creator of man is not like man, because a powerless creature cannot create another being. The maker, the creator, has to possess all perfections in order that he may create. And this is kind of a pretty common theological argument for the existence of a God. Like, the classic, that table cannot have created itself. So I guess it's kind of going along those lines. But keep in mind, this is written around, I think this was put together in the first edition was published in 1918, so over 100 years ago. Can the creation be perfect and the creator imperfect? Can a picture be a masterpiece and the painter imperfect in his art? For it is his art and his creation. Moreover, the picture cannot be like the painter, otherwise the painting would have created itself. However perfect the picture may be, in comparison with the painter, it is in the utmost degree of imperfection. The contingent world is the source of imperfections. God is the origin of perfections. The imperfections of the contingent world are in themselves a proof of the perfections of God. I thought that was a pretty interesting concept, that humanity and all of creation is perfect because it is imperfect. And I think that's a pretty interesting concept to kind of meditate on and think about. For example, when you look at man, you see that he is weak. This very weakness of the creature is a proof of the power of the Eternal Almighty One. Because if there were no power, weakness could not be imagined. Then the weakness of the creature is a proof of the power of God. For if there were no power, there could be no weakness. So from this weakness, it becomes evident that there is power in the world. Again, in the contingent world, there is poverty. Then necessarily wealth exists, since poverty is apparent in the world. In the contingent world, there is ignorance. Necessarily knowledge exists, because ignorance is found. For if there were no knowledge, neither would there be ignorance. Ignorance is the non-existence of knowledge, and if there were no existence, non-existence could not be realized. And that's kind of like the fundamental essence of reality, I think, is that there's two components. It's binary, 0 and 1. It is positive and negative. And I think that's like a general undercurrent of all of creation. It is certain that the whole contingent world is subjected to a law and rule which it can never disobey. Even man is forced to submit to death. Think about the law of entropy. Even societies and civilizations decay and decline. That's just my commentary right there. To sleep, even man is forced to submit to death, to sleep, and to other conditions. That is to say, man in certain particulars is governed, and necessarily this state of being governed implies the existence of a governor. Because a characteristic of contingent beings is dependency, and this dependency is an essential necessity, therefore there must be an independent being whose independence is essential. In the same way, it is understood from the man who is sick that there must be one who is in health, for if there were no health, his sickness could not be proved. Therefore, it becomes evident that there is an eternal Almighty One, who is the possessor of all perfections, because unless he possessed all perfections, he would be like his creation. Throughout the world of existence, it is the same. The smallest created thing proves that there is a creator. For instance, this piece of bread proves that it has a maker. Praise be to God, the least change produced in the form of the smallest thing proves the existence of a creator. Then can this great universe, which is endless, be self-created, and come into existence from the action of matter and the elements? How self-evidently wrong is such a supposition. And I think this is kind of an interesting topic as well, because I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were talking about if you look up what existed before the Big Bang, there's always discussion about some kind of primordial energy or some kind of two opposing forces collided. So there was something before the Big Bang. And even the physicists and scientists today are starting to, assert or propose the idea that the universe has always created, or has always existed. And that, I'm not sure which is more awe-inspiring to wrap your mind around, the fact that the universe has always existed, or the fact that a Big Bang occurred, which I think there's probably a combination of both. Maybe the Big Bang was like a certain portion of the universe that created a lot of the planets that we currently reside in or are nearby. These obvious arguments are adduced for weak souls, but if the inner perception be open, 100,000 clear proofs become visible. Thus, when man feels the indwelling spirit, he is in no need of arguments, for its existence, but for those who are deprived of the bounty of the spirit, it is necessary to establish external arguments. And I'm reading this kind of near the end of my driveway, and so I'm wondering if I should, or on my road I should say, maybe I should have to read this again. This is like the third time I've tried to get through this particular one. Maybe it's just giving me some extra practice to make the video better. But yeah, there's a lot there, and I think if you think about it in terms of a spiritual sense, like I think we're different than animals. And if you ever look up near-death experiences, there's some really interesting stuff of how people see and understand things that they could not understand, while they were literally dead or on the operating table or whatever. And I think there's something to be said about the human body being like an avatar for the soul. Like your soul is not literally inside of your body, but there's some kind of mysterious, juxtaposition where the two are intertwined. Well, anyway, if this is actually hearable, I'm going to go ahead and try to save this video and upload it. Maybe I'll have to go to a different spot on my driveway. The driveway is about a quarter of a mile long, so I should have gone further up, but I was walking my dog and he looks all concerned. Anyway, thanks for checking me out. I'm on Odyssey, BitChute, and YouTube. Like I said, I just put on YouTube for whatever, why not? But I don't think YouTube lets you organically grow, particularly if if you're not part of the cool club of YouTube, so to speak. And so videos are gonna be like this, talking about spiritual concepts, different philosophies, different paranormal type stuff of like the occult a little bit, and board games, video games, all that good stuff, and nature. Well, thanks for checking me out, and until next time.